Hello and welcome to Front Row Racing. It's Sunday evening, which can only mean one thing. It's time for the Front Row Racing PCS Round 10, the season finale, which will be hosted at the Circuit Bugatti, which is effectively the short layout of the Le Mans 24-hour circuit. It does not bear much resemblance to the full version of Le Mans, other than we use the start-finish straight. Now I'm from Row Racing DP. I'll be doing commentary this evening, and joining me in the commentary box this week, it's not going to be James Hulkenberg, because he has emigrated over to Australia. I say emigrated, that's not the plan. He's gone over there for a month to see the missus who's working over there, and I've got a feeling he's probably not going to want to come back. So, joining me in the commentary box this evening is from Row Racing RI. So, Ray, how are you this evening?
I'm very well, how's yourself?
You know what? I'm feeling a bit better than I have been doing for the last week, but I'm still feeling fairly terrible. So, if I am coughing throughout this broadcast, I do apologise, folks. I'm still feeling a little bit under the weather. But I'm probably feeling better than Fernando Alonso is. And if you haven't seen it, sorry, you might get a few spoilers throughout this broadcast. But yeah, I reckon he's feeling a bit dizzy this evening. Okay, on to this evening's event then. Ray, if you can just keep an eye on whether Jason and Driver Montana join us. They do. Okay, so they're in. So we'll send the drivers over to the racetrack in a few moments' time. But I just want to point out that this is the final round of the season in the Project Cars Leagues. We do 10 race seasons, and it's a title decider. We've got Live Bry on 155 points and Hesselden on 151 points. We've effectively got two main battles going on in this event this evening, and one of them will be for the title between Live Bry and Hesselden, and with 25 points for first place and points scored for every finishing position, it could be very, very close. The second battle we've got is the battle for third place, because we've got 5 cars within sort of 20 points of each other. So we've got Dave the Harp on 112, Chris Core on 103, Adam Foy 600 on 102, GT Gavin on 100, and GBM Beardy on 93. So those guys are going to be fighting it out for third place. A few positions could really get mixed up this evening when the final standings are completed, but one that I know two of the drivers are really going to be interested in is G1990 Jonesy and M1989 Woolhouse. I believe they're on 48 and 49 points, so whoever wins out of those two, or finishes ahead out of those two, is going to be giving or receiving 20 quid off the other one. And if they want to really confirm that one, could send me a fiver, I'll help you out. Okay, having said
to my beer fund.
Exactly. Now, having said that, Jason is on the same points as Woolhouse on 48, and if he finishes ahead of the both of them, then they should probably give him the 20 quid. Okay, time their drivers over to the racetrack for what will be 15-minute qualifying session, a 5-minute warm-up, and then 23 laps around the Circuit Bugatti. It's a 2.65-mile circuit, and there are 10 turns. The start-finish straight is the Le Mans start-finish straight. They'll make their way up to the Dunlop chicane, where they'll go left, then they'll go right, and then they will work their way onto the other part of the track, really. So yeah, they'll go round Dunlop Curve, turn 1, through the Dunlop chicane, they'll head up towards La Chapelle, and then they'll turn right on a downhill loopy right-hander, and then into La Musée, a opening up corner, a left-hand corner. It's tight to begin with, and then opens up, and actually looking at it on the track map, if you've got a little bit of a dirty mind, it looks like a little bit something naughty. And then we're into a double right-hander known as the Garage Vert, And that is a tricky double right hand set of corners that I know you, Ray, mentioned that when you went to do a little bit of practice you found was a very awkward set of corners, really. And I tell you what, all of the cars are very, very quick at getting out of the pits here. After the Garage Vert, we're then onto a long straight onto the Chemin Booth, into a fast left-right chicane, and then into a long right-left chicane, one that we could see a lot of guys end up in the gravel. That's the S du Garage Bleu, and I think that's usually because when people end up there they go, ah, sacre bleu. Which I'm sure we all know what that means. And then we're into the final two corners, which is known as Recordement, which is a double right-hander, a very tricky set of corners. Potential is there for a lot of overtaking around this particular track. As for the lap times, Ray, I know you said you've done a few warm-up laps or practice laps, some exploratory laps. So how did you get on with your exploration?
Very terrible, very bumpy track. My setup wasn't good for it, and I done a 140s, and I know there is a driver in the lobby who's doing a 135s. So I'm just pants, really.
Well, no, the difference is that these guys, because they know they're racing, they go working on setups, pounding the laps in, and they improve and they improve and they improve and they improve. Whereas when you're doing exploratory laps, you haven't got a setup and you're just going out to see what it's like. But as you said, the track's a bumpy one and it's not easy. Hesselden, though, he's going to be the first to start a flying lap. So as he makes his way now up towards the Dunlop curve, it's in his hands. If he can beat Livebry here, he wins the title. So around Dunlop Curve, into the Dunlop chicane. This is all part of the normal Le Mans circuit. And then he heads over the brow of the hill, past the Dunlop Bridge, down the hill, and then we're into the right-hander before La Chapelle. And this is where we now go on to the infield of the circuit. Many different lines can be taken around that corner. Now a little bit of a straight, heading up to La Musée. A tricky left-hand corner. Got to get the entry right to get the absolute maximum from the exit. Now we're heading towards the Garage Vert, and this is the double right-hander, Ray, that you said you struggled a little bit. You spun it and ended up parked up next to a marshal's post, and you said you parked it quite nicely, apparently.
Yeah. It was like a handbrake park.
If only
see
they
that
do.
guy with the mini and he parks it in between two cars.
Oh yes,
I could do that easily with one of these.
Okay, Hesselden's now into the Cheminot Booth. A very simple chicane, but one where if the guys get side by side could get very, very tricky. Now we're into the S de Garage Bleu, and like I say, it's a long, fast but awkward chicane. And now we're heading to the final two corners, the Recordement. Oh, he's taken a lot of curb there, and I suppose to a degree, if you can get away with it, give it a try. So across the line, Hesselden is going to go. It's a 135.256 for him. That's the benchmark been set. Driver Montana about across the line with Jonesy behind him. Driver Montana goes third with a 139.8. Livebry is, sorry, that's behind him. Livebry's gone for a different colour scheme on his car. So he's gone for a car that Jonesy usually uses. And Livebry's gone second, as Ray mentioned, on a 135.811. I mean, I'll tell you what, Ray, we've got 10 minutes of this qualifying session to go. And Livebry's done a 135.8 stuck behind a car. Do you think he can go and stick it on pole position and go and take another win and take the title?
Yeah. I think if he puts a hammer down, he can do it.
Definitely
I've seen the car sitting in front of him, so he's got that turbulent air, the dirty air, messing up with his car. He's got clear air. Go for it.
Exactly. So if you had to make a choice then, of you had to put your money on one of the drivers, Livebry or Hesselden, to take the title, to do it here today, who would your money be on?
It'd be Hesselden. Yeah, Hesselden. I'm not being negative towards Livebry. He's came in, he's showed his points in that, and Hesselden showed his points, so I'm sticking with Hesselden. I think Hesselden might take it tonight. Okay,
well, in the interest of making things interesting, then I'm going to go for Livebry. I think Hesselden can do it, don't get me wrong, but just so that we can argue it out through the whole of the event, Livebry. For the viewers, let us know who you think it's going to be. Livebry, though, he's improved his lap time, but it's still only second place, as Hesselden has gone, I think he might have improved a little bit, a 35.256. Dave the Harp, he's currently put himself in third place, and I tell you what, Dave the Harp's only gone and bloody changed his colour scheme as well from what he usually uses. He's had a white car all season long. We get to the last race, he suddenly goes to a black one. He's in third place with a 136.0. GT Gavin 4, he's heading into the pit lane, giving the pit entry a good old testing. You know what, I hadn't even thought about the pit entry, but as you mentioned it there, yeah, it does look quite tight. GBM Beardy, he's on a 136.3 at the moment, and he's making his way through sector 2 at the moment. Garage Vert, it's the middle of sector 2, so we'll see how he gets on throughout this lap. Have you ever
quick to saying, alright, Rachel Brooks, sorry, Rachel Brooks isn't out, she's only out on a Wednesday and a Thursday.
Yeah, that is very that is true. On a Wednesday, a Thursday and a Friday in the FRRI days, yeah, Rachel Brooks is out, but no, not on a Sunday evening. She's too busy in the Sky plane, getting her head down, resting after the F1 experience in Australia. Okay, GBM yeah. GBM Beardy crossed the line, hasn't improved on his lap time. Chris Core 69, he's been showing some excellent pace of late, but has had a few very, very unfortunate collisions. I'd like to see him go and set a lap time that could get him up there on the first couple of rows of the grid, taking a very wide line between the final two corners, but across the line he will go, not improving his lap, but we'll see if he continues on for another one. And Ray, I don't know if you want to keep an eye on him. I think Hesselden has just recently come out of the pits again to set himself up for another flying lap.
Front tours out on track as well.
Okay.
What I want to mention, Duty Gavin, he might stir something up.
Well, he could do. Oh, we've got a car going off. I think that might be Jason or Adam 4600. It depends on whether they are in the liveries that they would usually use. Chris Core is catching up another car. Now, for the PCS drivers, obviously it is a 10 race season. We're into the final race of the season. We will have a couple of at least 2 weeks break after this event this evening. Season 3, the car the drivers will be using for Season 3 will be the Aussie V8s. Track selection and driver participation will be confirmed in the next 2 weeks. Basically, we'll put a post out on Facebook with a list of all of the drivers' names, asking for them to confirm their participation for Season 3. And the bottom 10 drivers out of the 14 will be able to pick a track that we will race on for the season. So Chris Core coming into the final races of the season, into the final corners of the track. Let's see if he can improve on that 137.835. He can, but he still stays in 6th place. Neotic, who's in 7th place. I'm not sure if he's just starting a flyer or whether he's just finished one as well, but currently in 7th with the 138.8, and he had an absolutely fantastic weekend of racing last weekend in the LMP2s around the Full Le Mans circuit. He was absolutely sublime, showing that he's one to watch out for, because when he gets it right, he gets it really, really right.
Livebry never improved, but he's got a car in front of him. That's just coming over the start-finish line. He's improved to 134.827.
Okay, the car ahead of Livebry is Neotig, because that's who I'm watching now. So Neotig, while he's on a flying lap, he's got Livebry right behind him. And I think in a way, Livebry would perhaps benefit here from going, you know what, this guy's obviously on his hot lap. I'll leave him to it. Instead, he's chucked it up the inside to go for an overtake. The only thing is, it's going to compromise both of your laps. So he may have been better off just backing out of that one, because now Neotig has had his lap compromised. Adam 4600, currently sat in 9th place, is in his usual colour of car on a 138.894. Oh, he's struggling a little bit as well, with a bit of understeer in that car. Woolhouse is just about to leave the pits. We've got a number of cars crossing the finish line. Driver Montana in 11th place at the moment. Jason is in 12th. Lielmo McElroy 13th. And Bart Dude not set a time yet. So 10 minutes into the session and he hasn't actually set a lap time yet. Okay, quick look at Hesselden. As Ray said, he has improved on his lap time, a 134.827. Live Bryce starting. We'll see if he can improve on that, although he's got to find a good half a second to try and take pole position.
We've got a question from the viewers. How's Project Cars now?
Depends on what you're comparing it to. Project Cars still has its problems, and I wouldn't be surprised if we still see disconnection issues this evening or over the next few weeks. Project Cars are still in discussions with Sony about connectivity, but I think the best thing I can say about any racing games on the PS4 or on any of the games consoles really is they all seem to do certain things very, very well, and they all have their own issues. I don't think there's a single game out there at the moment where you could say that is absolutely perfect, or even close to it. But anyway, Live Bride.
I agree.
Yeah, Live Bride coming into the S2 Garage Bleu. He will be able to get another lap in after this one. But he is going to want to hope that this lap is good enough for pole position. So around the final corner, can he improve enough to take pole position? No, he hasn't improved at all. I'm surprised by that. Hesselden, he's gone down to a 134.6. He's feeling very, very confident at the moment. GT Gavin 2, he's got himself up to 3rd place with a 135.8. But one thing that is possible, I mean, it's possible for the likes of Live Bry and perhaps even quite a few of the other drivers, is that they are focusing their setups on race pace rather than for qualifying. Because yes, it's very handy to qualify up on pole, but you get no points for pole position or anything like that. Oh, GT Gavin, a lot faster in the braking zone, giving one of the cars a bit of a nudge there. I think that may have been Jason or Adam 4600. GBM Beardy currently in 4th place, battling it out on track, trying to get a bit of track position, and they're kind of into the situation now where they have to battle it out really, because if they don't cross the line with at least 1 minute, actually they're not going to get another lap in. It's this lap or nothing for these good drivers now. If they cross the line, they're not going to get another lap in. So getting to the point then where it's now or never. So I doubt GBM Beard is going to improve on what was 4th, but he's just been bumped down to 5th. He stays 5th.
But he's just coming round the last 2 corners, sorry.
That's right. Dave the Harp, sorry, did bump himself up to 3rd place. That's what put Beardy down to 5th. Live Bright, he has improved, but not enough.
That's close.
That's really, really close, that is. Okay, the drivers are not going to get another lap in unless they are at the final part of the circuit now. Chris Core coming around the final corners. He's on a 137.3 at the moment. Can he improve? No, he can't. Jonesy, sounds like he's had a crash. Yep. Neo Tiggs just crossed the line. He's in 9th place. And that is pretty much session done, because I don't think anyone's going to have enough time to get. No, there's 2 cars on track and they haven't got enough time to get to the finish line. So that means for the final race of the season, Hesselden takes pole position by less than 1/10 of a second. It's about 7/10 of a second. So very, very close then between Hesselden and Livebry. But Hesselden, he seemed fairly comfortable. He had his lap time set and was sat in the pits. So Hesselden will be on pole, Live Bryce second, David Harp third, Gavin fourth, Beardy fifth. I'll quickly show the rest of the field, otherwise I won't know where they qualified for when I update the standings. So now we're into the 5-minute warm-up session, and this is where for the drivers they get a chance to their fuel, their tyre strategy, their pit strategy, get everything ready for the race. Put the fuel in the car and go out on track and see how it handles, because compared to qualifying, they're going to be a lot heavier and a lot slower. Well, from what we've had in...
And just to update you, sorry, Rennie Perez agrees on your comment, and that was the guy that asked the question.
Alright, yeah, well, thank you very much, Rene Perez. Yeah, I don't think there's any game at the moment that anyone could say is perfect. They all have their issues. But I tell you what, from qualifying that we've just had, Hesselden taking another pole position, it looks like we could have one hell of a battle between Hesselden and Live Bry for the title here. I mean, really, neither of them has to win the race. All they have to do, Live Bry just needs to finish ahead of Hesselden. Hesselden needs to finish ahead with at least a 4-point margin or more. I mean, actually, looking at the standings, if Hesselden wins and Live Bry finishes second, Hesselden takes the title by 1 point. That's how close this is. If Hesselden finishes second with Live Bry third, they will be on level points. And then if Hesselden is third with Live Bry fourth, it will go to Hesselden. So it could get very, very interesting. But I mean, for this Project Cars Sunday season, we have had fantastic races all the way through. Some great driving. A few moments of shocking driving as well. We've got to be honest about that one. But it has been one hell of a season. And when a title decider goes down to the last race of the season, as a commentator or reviewer, you can't really ask for much more than that.
No, you can't.
I tell you what though, Ray, it was you that chose the Aussie V8s for Season 3 for the PCS. Why don't you tell the viewers why you've decided to pick that beast of a car?
Well, let me return to the pit box. I was out driving, having a wee shot.
Oh, was you now? You was out on track, was you? I don't know. These commentators, give them half a chance and they're out in the pits stealing someone's car.
Why did I pick them? Because what we've had from the Sundays is a one car that you can pick. So it was a Ginetta Juniors, it's a Ginetta G bloody blast we've got the now. And then there's only one V8 that's out there, so everybody's in the same car, so it's set up that it's going to, well, I say set up, I mean set up in driver style.
Yeah.
It's going to put you where you're going to be.
I mean, that's the thing. If the cars are all the same, it's down to your setup and how you drive it. Whereas if you've got different classes of cars or different makes of cars, there's many other variables. And so yeah, it'll be very, very interesting. Also, I mean, the Aussie V8s, they look great, they sound great, and they're tail happy. I mean, they're more tail happy than a well, they're more tail happy than a puppy who's just been shown another puppy. They are absolutely mental. Okay, we better focus a bit more though on to what we've got coming up ahead of us. A very, very difficult pit entry, and it's interesting to see a couple of the drivers actually testing out the pit entry, because you can gain or lose so much time on a pit lane. Now I'm going to have a quick think about a question of the day to put out there to the viewer. Here we go. Question of the day for the viewers, and we'll carry this on through the broadcast. Which is the best racetrack in the world? Simple question. I bet we'll get many different opinions, but which is the best racetrack in the world and why. So anyway, we've got about 10 seconds until the drivers head out onto the track to form up the grid for the final time in the Front Row Racing PCS. So, time to take a breath. Close the eyes. Imagine that turn 1, how the race is going to go. Imagine being gifted the trophy at the end of the event. At least for 2 of them, that'll be the hope. Now, for the weather forecast, it looks like it's going to be fairly nice and clear. There should be no possibility of rain, but for the drivers, they've got much more than what is going to happen in the skies on their mind, because it's time for the lights to go green, and away they go. So we'll let them fire their way down towards turn 1 as we try and have a look at what's going on up at the front. We've got Hesselden. He's down into second place. Dave the Harp's managed to get himself up into the lead. GBM Beard is in second. Live Prize down to 4th. Oh, but I think Dave the Harp's gone very, very deep at turn 1. And now Hesselden is back up into the lead. He is. Hesselden's back into the lead. That puts GBM Beardy in second place. Live Brian third. We've got a collision going off in the background. A collision down at turn 3. That's now put Live Bry up into the lead and Hesselden down into third, but he's trying to fight his way back into second. It's all getting very, very busy in the opening lap of this race. There's a long way to go. You can't win a race in the first corners, but you definitely can lose one. So as they make their way down towards the Garage Vert now, we've got Hesselden. Oh, and a late move being done there by GT Gavin. Excuse me. Getting very, very busy all the way down the order. GBM Beardy, he's up to third place. I mean, the first and second and third have all changed places about 5 times in this first lap. But Hesselden is leading. Live Bryce second, GBM Beardy third, GT Gavin fourth, Dave the Harp fifth, and then we're lying astern all the way down at the rest of the order. But I tell you what, quite far down the order, it is looking a little bit busy down here. I think that's Jonesy having a bit of a sneaky look.
Yeah.
It is. Okay, but let's get back up to the front. Hesselden leading, opening up a little bit of a gap. Live Bryce just gone wide for a split second there. Could cost him a little bit of time. GBM Beardy still taking that third place. Now for Hesselden and Live Bry, they'll hope that they can pull away from everybody else and just battle it out. But what we haven't discussed yet is tyre compounds. When you were having your little run around, Ray, what compounds did you decide to venture out onto the track with?
Jonesy went to go for a move, he just cut the corner and it's put him down to the back.
So a power boost penalty costing him those positions then?
Compound, weather permitted. I didn't select one, I just didn't select one.
Well, but it's an interesting feature throughout the whole of this season, whether the drivers have gone for soft tyres, medium tyres or hard tyres. For the most part, the drivers that have been winning races have been getting the maximum out of the medium compound tyre. But I'm just wondering, whether for this race, Hesselden has gone, you know what? I don't want to be anywhere near anybody else. I'm going to bolt on a set of soft tyres for the start of this race, pull away, fly away, put on the mediums, and then be untouchable for the rest of the race. Because at the moment, he's opening up a gap on Live Bry, who just hasn't really got any answer for him at the moment. And Live Bry cannot afford... Yeah, Live Bry can't afford to let Hesselden run away.
We've got her.
Got what, sorry?
We've got somebody in the pits.
Alright, that's alright. I couldn't understand what you were saying. It sounded like you were saying you got a pit of bread. At GBM Beardy, it is into the pits.
Must have been a penalty.
It drive-through penalty, yeah, that definitely was a drive-through penalty. Usually drive-through penalties will be given for jump starts, so that could be what has happened for him. You usually do tend to get 2 or 3 laps to get them done. But Hesselden, oh my days, he's done a 1:35.7 lap time. Live Bry, he's only on a 1:37.
Do a move on, who's it?
GT Gavin. Yeah, so Dave the
Harp and Johnny's quite quick behind him.
Well, he did get into third in qualifying. Yeah, he got up into third in qualifying, so if you can get past GT Gavin, he may be able to pull away a little bit. I mean, to be fair, in the early stage of the PCS season, David Hart was up there winning races. Sort of halfway through the season, it just sort of stopped happening that way, and he's really had to work hard for it. And at the start of races, he's tended to lose position, whereas on this occasion, he actually gained, was in the lead, until he went a little bit deeper one of the corners. GT Gavin 2, it says he's in second place. Where's Livebry? Livebry's gone. Livebry's gone. That's disaster. There is a big crash. I've just spotted that as well. GBM Beardy, I think that's with Neotig. But yeah, Livebry, he's out of the event. He's been disconnected. His race is over. Absolute devastation for Livebry then. Oh, we won't have a battle for the championship, the title decider, because at the moment, Hesselden, he's going to go and win it. Livebry can do absolutely nothing about him. We didn't see what happened to him, but now GT Gavin 2 and Dave the Harp going for it, fighting it out for second place as they head around La Chapelle, and Dave getting that move done quite nicely by the looks of things, and has now moved up into that position. But GT Gavin chucking it up the inside, and then now they're both going straight on. It was ambitious, but not successful. And now Chris Core is all over the back of these guys. Now Chris Core having a
look. But I had a black screen.
Oh no, he's had the black screen of doom. Now we do know that that happened to James Hulkenberg in the LMP2 race a few weeks ago, and it's absolutely infuriating. There's nothing you can do about it as a driver. The only thing that Livebry can do now is get out the voodoo dolls, get into the garden, do a bit of rain dancing, and see what kind of curses he can put on Hesselden at the moment. I mean, Hesselden has had problems with connectivity himself this season in the PCS and in the PCF, so Hesselden's probably sat there thinking, you know what, it's a shame, but ha 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 ha. Anyway,
Yasin's looking for a move on Wheelhouse. He's all over the back of him. He tried to put it into, I don't know what turn it was, he tried to put it up the inside and thought better of it. So he's following him through the last two corners.
Now he's quite close here, you know, we've got sort of 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th all quite close to each other. Driver Montana, Lielmo McElroy, Woolhouse and Jason. Now, G1990 Jonesy, what position is he in, Ray?
He's Jonesy. Oh, where is Jonesy?
I'm wondering whether
he's 12th.
Okay,
he's
so
just coming over the start-finish strip.
See, Jonesy needs to finish ahead of Woolhouse. He's got, I think, a 1 point advantage on him, but for the benefit of their bet, he needs to finish ahead of Woolhouse, or only one position behind him in the lower end of the points. But Woolhouse is... Okay, so Bart Dude is out of the race then, but Jason is looking more and more aggressive over the back of Woolhouse at the moment here, trying to spot places to perhaps try and make a move. Oh, he's just had a massive sideways moment that'll cost him any chance of making a move. Adam 4600's got GBM Beardy quite close behind him as Adam goes a little bit sideways. Oh, a little bit sideways again. Beardy giving him a little bit of a nudge, and 7th place as these two also getting very, very aggressive. Car ahead will be Neotig, which is in 5th position. But I mean, we could be at a point where if any of the drivers are on soft tyres, they could be beginning to burn up, as Adam 4600 is losing a position here to GBM Beardy. He manages to get ahead, but Beardy has already made a pit stop. Oh, and Adam's just giving him a nudge. It's a bit more of a nudge. It's an absolute big shunting. He's gone off, but Adam, to be fair, has slowed down. He's stopped. He's waited for him to go through. And as frustrating it is for the driver when you get hit, you cannot really complain when the other driver stops, let you through, and they lose even more time than you do. That now puts Driver Montana all over the back of Adam 4600. Heselden's...
Was Dave the Harp ahead of GT Gavin?
He was. He's not anymore.
He's not now?
No, I've just spotted that one as well. He is down in third place, and I tell you what, Chris Core, he's still there as well. I'll tell you what, I think Dave's struggling, you know. He's got a power boost penalty.
He's got power boost.
And there goes Chris Core. Chris Core manages to avoid him. That's up to third place for him. So for Dave the Harp then, thought he was struggling, and he definitely is. I reckon we may see Dave chucking it into the pits. Keep an eye on that one, Ray, because I reckon he will be going for the pit lane. Right, Neotig, he's in fifth.
He's gone for the pits, he's gone for the pits.
He is going for the pits, so that's about 6 laps then for Dave the Harp on possibly soft tyres. Neotig, he's going to move up a position. That'll take him up to 4th place. But then we've got GBM Beardy, and a very, very busy part of the track. GBM Beardy's opening up now on Adam 4600. We've got over side to side Woolhouse and Leomo McElroy, I believe it is. Come on, camera, change. There we go. Thank you very much. I think one of the drivers may have just disappeared into the pits. That's where he's gone. That's why he's no longer side by side. There he is. Oh, yes, it was Leomo McElroy. For a moment it said it was Jason, and that really confused me. Okay, Jonesy is still in 12th place. Woolhouse and Jason heading down the start-finish. Dave the Harp is going to return to track in 10th place. I tell you what though, Ray, 6 laps on a set of soft tyres. If the drivers are staying on soft tyres, you're looking at a 4-stop race. They've got to go on to the mediums or the hards. Make them last a lot longer.
Yeah, we've seen that for the Mercedes today. Put on the medium, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, they called that one absolutely right, but I know a few people that have been talking
Heselden's in the pits, sorry.
That's fine, no problem. So Heselden, our race leader then, into the pits as well. Now, if he is on the medium or the hard tyre, he might be a little bit surprised that they've not lasted longer than they have. GT Gavin, he's going for the pits, but he's got deep. He's got very deep. Chris Core's continuing on. He's not pitting yet. So Chris...
Dave the Harp, because Dave the Harp was behind.
Dave the Harp's down in 10th place when he made his pit stop. So you'll have to keep an eye on where Dave will be when GT Gavin makes his way out of the pits. But Chris Core is going to take the lead of this race, but has not stopped yet. GT Gavin still in the pits. Heselden is now on the move. Neotig's in the pits. GBM Beardy, who has already pitted, is now making his way down the start-finish line. There he is. He's pitted once already, so he's now going to be just ahead of Heselden. Puts Heselden down to 3rd place. Goes to show just how well an undercut can work, but GBM Beardy will probably have an additional stop to make towards the end of this race, and Heselden's tyres will be absolutely brand spanking new at the moment.
I think Yarson's trying to figure out how to get past Woolhouse, or Woolhouse went wide, Yarson's get the run. Is he going to keep it down into turn 1, 2, 3, 4? I think we're on 4. No, he's
backed out of it.
The Harp. Dave the Harp came out of nowhere.
Well, Jason's probably still on worn tyres, so perhaps didn't fancy trying to fight that one. But yeah, Dave the Harp, he's got himself involved in that one, trying to make a move on Woolhouse at the moment to completely different level of tyre wears. Now, where is GT Gavin 2, Ray? Because I would expect him to be ahead of Dave the Harp on track at the moment, as these two are still battling it out.
These two corners, he's the next car you can see.
Okay, yeah, he is. He's just a little way up the road then. So time for Dave the Harp to get the hammer down and try and catch up to GT Gavin 2. And he's got a car ahead of him. He's got a power boost penalty. Oh, that was so close to disaster.
Driver Montana, that was.
Okay, now Adam 4600, his tyres, they will be absolutely knackered. Time for you to pit, my friend. And he's listening. He's into the pits now. Chris Core is also into the pit lane. GBM Beard is continued on, but Heselden has got past him on those fresher tyres. Chris Core's on the move. Here comes GT Gavin 2. How close is it going to be between himself and Chris Core? We won't know until the camera angle changes. And there's Chris Core in the background.
Now, Dave the Harp. Where's Dave the Harp?
He is right up Chris Core's bumper. Yeah, he's there. He's there to try and gain on that one. But Chris going the extra laps may help him later on. But Dave has been looking very, very overtakey the last couple of laps, and with his tyres up to temperature, it would benefit him to try and get past as early as possible. But he just ran a little bit wide, and that allows Chris Core a little bit of a breather and a chance to get those tyres up to temperature. Okay, let's see if we've got any.
You know, Dave the Harp says he's on a wheel. His car looks a wee bit twitchy for a wheel.
Well, maybe he's had a few drinks today and he thinks he's steering beautifully smooth, when in fact he's not. Do not drink and drive. It is definitely not advisable. Okay, so field beginning to get a little bit spread out. I think our closest battle is Dave the Harp and Chris Core, 4th and 5th place. If you just want to have a quick look through the order race, see if there is anybody closer together, or at least something that could be brewing. Because, I mean, Chris Core, he's having an absolute stormer at the moment, but could do with getting away from Dave. But Dave did show in qualifying, got quite a bit of pace. Chris Core a little bit wide into the penultimate corner, and he could find himself being overtaken heading up to the Dunlop curve. Dave looking up the inside. If he gets up the inside, it could get very, very tricky, but he is ahead. Chris Core thinks better of it, and Dave the Harp then up to 3rd place. Somebody must have pitted. GBM Beardy, where's GBM Beardy? Yes, he has pitted. He's coming out of the pits in 6th place. So Dave the Harp now up to 3rd, with GT Gavin in 2nd place. Now the gap between 1st and 2nd is quite big. If you're looking at the track map at the moment, GT Gavin here is the little arrow just gone through T1, the red dot going through the chicane, that is Hesselden. That's the lead he's got at the moment, looking very comfortable, and at the looks of it, it is still Dave the Harp and Chris Core, which is the closest battle on the track. Okay, to the viewers, mentioned earlier the question of the day, which is, from your own opinion, the best racetrack in the world? Try and say that like Clarkson. The best racetrack in the world. For me, wow. There can be only one. The Nordschleife. That is a racetrack that, okay, you don't have LMPs racing there anymore, or official like FIA GT races. Well, there are official FIA races there, but not like the touring cars or stuff like that, or F1 cars. But yeah, that is. It's got to be the best. Oh, Dave the Harp's having a moment. He's having a moment. He's gone off. That could give Chris Core a little bit of hope there. Now, don't get me wrong, I do like this racetrack as well, or at least the full Le Mans circuit. I think it's a fantastic racetrack. But the Nordschleife, yeah, 100 and something turns, and if you can get around it with only clipping the barrier once, you should be happy. And if you can get around it without clipping it at all, it is an absolute buzz. So, Ray, what about you? What's your favourite racetrack? Which do you think is, well, not necessarily favourite, which do you think is the best racetrack in the world?
I don't know what would be the best racetrack in the world, but I know what my best track is, and it's the Hungarian Ring, because that's where I done my first race online, and I'm speaking on an online situation. That's where I done it, and I done pretty well. Oh, Chris Coles went wide. He's got a power boost penalty.
He has got a power boost penalty.
Half off. So yeah, it all depends, doesn't it? Monza, not Monza, Monaco. I like it, but I don't like it. I love to hate it.
Yeah. Well,
I've lost a few wings, but recently I've not lost a few wings when I've tried it out. But
I'll tell you what,
I'll stick with my Hungaro Ring.
My favourite racetrack to race on in F1 cars is Monaco. I absolutely love that place. The buzz from getting the car as close to the barriers, turning it in and having it look like you're going to rip the front end off, but actually missing the barrier by millimetres. Yeah, I absolutely love that place. I haven't really taken an F1 car around the Nordschleife. Well, I'll tell you what, I tell a lie actually. I have taken an F1 car around the Nordschleife. I took the Lotus, which one is it called? The Lotus John Player Special F1 car, the Senna. I took that around the Nordschleife and did a YouTube video of it some time ago, and I absolutely loved it. I absolutely loved it. But Monaco for racing around in F1 cars, yeah, that's my favourite racetrack. But the best racetrack in the world, yeah, Nordschleife for me. Okay, 8th, 9th, 10th, they're not too far away at the moment. Go on, Ray, what do you got for us?
Hammer Time 44. The one track I like is Hockenheim.
Interesting. Now, Jason has just had a bit of a moment. That's allowing Jonesy to catch him up. Jason having a bit of a spin. As Woolhouse in 10th place is trying to catch up to Adam 4600, who's trying to catch up to Driver Montana, who's trying to catch up to Lielmo McElroy. These guys all on the same Hockenheim. You know what? Hockenheim, old track, yeah, fantastic. An amazing racetrack. Hockenheim, current racetrack, no. I'd rather not race there at all, to a degree. And for any gamers that have never driven the old Hockenheim circuit, trust me, you're missing out. Imagine, how can I explain? Okay, the Le Mans circuit, right? The full Le Mans circuit. You have the very long straight, the very long straights. Right? Imagine having one of those straights with a little bit of a curve in it for about 2 miles and a chicane at the end of it. Then another one and a chicane at the end of it. Then another one and a chicane at the end of it. And then the stadium section. Hitting about 220, 230 mile an hour 3 times every lap. Absolutely ridiculous high speed. Slipstream like you've never imagined. And danger beyond belief. Okay, Driver Montana and Adam 4600 getting very, very close. I tell you what, it looks like Driver Montana, I think his tyres are beginning to struggle. Well, yeah, just I was about to say that Montana's struggling with his tyres. Maybe it's at that point where Adam 4600 is beginning to struggle as well. We could be into the second sort of phase of pit stops as well, coming up fairly soon. We saw 6 laps for about the first round of stops. It's been about another 6 laps since then. So if they've gone onto the medium or hard tyres, then we could see them changing tyres again fairly soon. But Adam 4600 definitely closing up on this gap. Driver Montana very, very twitchy under braking, but Adam has struggled through these corners on occasion, but looking a lot tidier. If he can get a good run through the final 2 corners. Oh, he's gone deep. Go on, Ray, what have you got for us?
Beardy, Chris Cole, quite close.
That they are. Now, Beardy did pit a while ago, so he'll be on fairly fresh tyres, and we'll need to try and get an overtake done, because I do feel he has another pit stop to do. Beardy, he's got himself down into the 1:35 lap times as well, so looking very, very quick at the moment.
Hesselton's in.
So Hesselton making a pit stop then, but he's got enough of a lead that he can afford to do that and probably get out, nip down to McDonald's, come back, eat his McFlurry and then carry on again.
Or it could be like the F1 qualifying, he could go in there, run round, put out the checkered flag and get back in his car and go.
Yeah, he could do. Oh, Beardy very, very close to Chris Core.
Dave the Harp's in.
Okay, so Dave the Harp into the pits then. Beardy needs to get ahead of Chris Core here. He needs to get ahead as quick as possible because he's faster on track at the moment, but he's been held up for at least 1 or 2 laps here. He is now just about squeezing ahead, but Chris Gore opting not to fight it through the Dunlop curve there. Now, usually the Dunlop curve is a flat out corner, but if your tyres have begun to wear, it's not worth taking the risk of trying it flat out. GT Gavin 2 now leading the race, but I would expect to see him pitting fairly soon. Hesselden has made his stop and come out in second place, just to show how big of a lead he had.
Yeah, I'm just circling the cars, trying to see if I can see different tyres. They've all got the white wall tyre as far as I'm aware, but whether that's different
compounds.
Yeah.
It would be good if on this game it did give a much clearer view of different compounds of tyres. I mean, it would be extremely useful for us viewers. I mean, that is something that F1 does do right, in that you know exactly what tyre people are on because of the tyre markings. Okay.
Gavin in the pits.
Yes, he is, as well as two other cars who are further down the order, but GT Gavin is into the pits, and I think that's Jonesy that's just made his way out onto track. So Hesselden retakes the lead then. GT Gavin is in the pit still. He's not going to come out in third place, I don't think, because Chris Gore is going to pass him. Or is he? He is, yeah. So GT Gavin's down into fourth place, but Chris Gore going to have a stop to make. Now, I think that might be Jonesy that's come out of the pits right between GBM Beardy and Chris Gore, so blue flag situation now in place. So GT Gavin has come out of fourth place with Dave the Harp in fifth. Quite a gap between them, and Dave has already pitted. He pitted a lap or two ago. Driver Montana in sixth with Neotig in seventh behind him. Adam 4600. Oh, he's having... he's had a bit of an off there. I don't know exactly what's happened there, but he's trying to now get into the pit lane. Just about manages to do so, as Woolhouse is also into the pits. Jason coming into the pits, and Lielmo McElroy making his way towards the latter stages of the lap. So 6th and 7th having a little bit of a battle at the moment, but the pit lane about to get very, very busy, Ray, with those cars that are down there.
Yeah, I'm just watching and seeing who's jumping who. I've emptied.
Oh, Neotig going up the inside of driver Montana here, manages to steal 6th place off him. Could be on better tyres, but Montana chucking it up the inside. It's not quite worked. Ended up getting clipped on the rear end and being sent for a little bit of a spin. Right, sorry Ray, back to you with what you was watching there.
I was just watching the pits to see if they made any progress, and I can't tell. Oh, but Lee has just took Woolhouse. He had a better corner. Lee had a better corner than Woolhouse at turn 4, I think it was.
No. I've had another look.
Lee's in 8th, Woolhouse in 9th.
Yep, but the car ahead of Woolhouse is Hesselden. So, Woolhouse was letting Hesselden through.
Alright, smarty pants.
sorry. But he has. I know it looked like Lielmo had a better corner, but it was Hesselden. But for Woolhouse, to be honest, if he can just follow Hesselden now, may be able to learn a couple of things, and also may be able to catch up to Lielmo, who is in the position ahead of him. Driver Montana is in the pits, so Lielmo McElroy is going to jump up a position here, as he does now. Driver Montana on the move, but is about to lose a position. It could be close. He's coming now. He's going to be very, very close. Oh, that was Dave the Harp. Woolhouse is already up the road. My bad. No, it wasn't actually. They are that close. They are that close. It's all right. He said the driver Montana was in ninth a lot earlier.
Mistake and I'll make a mistake.
Yeah. Easily done. Well, driver Montana now on the much fresher tyres. He's got a chance of attacking Woolhouse here, and Jonesy will want him to attack him as much as possible. But at the moment, we've got about... Go on, what are you saying?
Beardy's in the pits. He's just come out behind Dave the Harp, and he's not that far back.
No,
with
well,
the fresher tyres, he could get that place back if he pushes.
He could get that place back fairly easily. I said earlier on, with him pitting very early, he may have to do the additional stop, and it looks like he's just done that. But with the much fresher tyres now, Dave could find himself being a little bit of a sitting duck.
Driver and Woolhouse are going for it. You just need to be careful. No love kisses or anything, just a wee bit of respect, a wee bit of space.
No move yet, but let's see. Dave the Harp, he's coming under a lot of pressure from GBM Beardy now, and GBM Beardy could really do with getting past as quick as he possibly can. If there's any gains to be made, better to make them sooner rather than later. Or having a look, trying to get Dave out of shape, but not quite able to do it. Let's go back to Woolhouse and Montana. They're still holding the same position. Oh, but Montana's had a much better exit. Oh, Woolhouse trying to keep it on the road, maybe a little bit of contact between them, but now into La Chapelle. And Montana gives him a little bit of a touring car nudge, bit of paintwork traded there, but driver Montana's on the outside for this next corner. You don't really want to be there, but he's chucked it back up the inside. There's a bit more bodywork traded, and they managed to surprisingly hold position. Now, I think just up the road we may have Neotig. Actually, he's safe at the moment, so Lielmo McElroy's going to have to be careful of coming under attack from Woolhouse and driver Montana. GBM Beardy still stuck. Yeah, he's still stuck behind Dave the Harp.
He's gone for it.
A nice move there. Dave's got the inside line. No, Dave's got the inside line for this corner, but if Beardy could hold it around the outside, he's got the better tyre, could have the better exit, and there we go. Up to third place it is for Beardy. On the fresher tyres, he should now be able to pull away.
Woolhouse contact, they've stopped in the track. That will let Adam sneak up.
It will.
Woolhouse got away quite easily, but Adams managed to gain a position on driver Montana. Sorry.
That's alright, so Woolhouse has managed to stay in 8th place. Adam 4600 is now up to 9th. Driver Montana down to 10th, and Jonesy, he's now not far behind them in 11th place. So we could have quite a bit of a battle about to brew here. 7th place is quite a bit further up the road. So time for Woolhouse to get a shift on, really. If he spends too much time looking in his mirrors, he's going to lose time. He's gone wide. He's gone wide. That could cost him big time. Adam 4600, if he gets a better run, could find himself attacking into the next corner. He's having a look up the inside. Woolhouse trying to defend it, but it's too late to do so. Adam 4600 manages to get ahead.
Switchback. He's got a switchback. Is he going to keep it? Down to this next turn, is he going to keep it? He's ahead.
He managed to just work that one out quite nicely there, Woolhouse. After a bit of a shocker of a corner, managed to stay ahead quite nicely, but if these continue to battle, the car behind will close up on them.
I've just went up to front between Dave the Harp and Beardy, there's a car. It's got out the way, so that's let Dave pass. So
I would guess that'll be Jason, but Adam 4600, he's looking close to Woolhouse again. If he gets a good run around these last couple of corners, he could have a look at attacking into the Dunlop chicane. We've seen a few try already. So we've got 3 laps remaining in the final round of the PCS season. And is Adam 4600 close enough? No, he isn't. Oh, yes, he is. He's chucking it up the inside. Now Woolhouse is going to have to go for the switchback, and he manages to just about stay ahead. It was brave by Adam there. Worth having a go. It was brave and very, very nearly worked. Now, will he have another go into the next chicane? Seeing as he now knows just how deep he can go on his brakes, it'll be interesting to see if he tries it again. He is going for it again, but he's now gone deep. He's taken Woolhouse with him a little bit, but they're going to be able to just about keep going. But behind them, Driver Montana and Jonesy. I think they've just had a little bit of a collision. An absolutely terrible effing camera angle meant that I couldn't really show you that, so apologies there, folks, as Adam 4600 and Woolhouse still going at it, but I think Jonesy got side by side with another car and ended up on the grass. Now, Adam 4600, we've seen him do a couple of late braking moves already in this last lap. Oh, that one's not going to work. That'll be a power boost penalty. That will be a power boost penalty. So here now comes Driver Montana. Oh, just manages to avoid him. What about Jonesy? Jonesy's down 11th. Adam 4600 still in 10th. So, is that GT Gavin 2? Yes, that's a blue flag situation. That's Adam 4600 getting out of the way.
Adam, step behind him and follow.
Yeah.
Follow GT Gavin, get the blue flag.
Well, that's the thing to do for Adam 4600 now. Stay as close to GT Gavin 2 as you possibly can. And by doing so, when everybody else has to get out of his way, you can just past them. That is, if they get out of his way, because they should get out of his way. But GT Gavin 2 would need to get a shift on. Now Woolhouse, he is coming under a pressure from Driver Montana, but Driver Montana is going to be getting those blue flags fairly quick. Montana and Woolhouse, they've had a collision, but now they need to get out of the way. The blue flag is there. Time to move, guys, time to move. Woolhouse is kind of letting him through. Is Driver Montana? I think he is, but Adam 4600 is not close enough to really... Yes, he is. He's trying to get out of the way.
Oh, yeah. He's on the wall.
Who? Adam 4600?
Yeah.
Okay, it helps if you tell us who it is that's in the wall, because we didn't see it. Okay, so Adam 4600 is in the wall. GT Gavin 2 manages to get through the blue flag situation, and that'll freeze him up. Hesselden, he's crossing the line to start the final lap of the race. GT Gavin 2 is in second place. GBM Beardy in third. Dave the Harp in fourth with Chris Core all over his rear wing. So, the closest battle up near the front then is fourth and fifth, Dave the Harp and Chris Core. So, keep an eye on that one for us, Ray, because...
What one?
Dave the Harp and
Driver Montana and Woolhouse.
Yeah, well, don't worry about them for the moment. Focus on Dave the Harp and Chris Core. They're further up the order. For Hesselden, though, as I mentioned, he's on the final lap of the race, and you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if he will be a little bit entered for Live Bry, in the fact that Live Bry was disconnected or had his black screen of doom, meaning that Hesselden's had it easy. He would have preferred to have had the battle, maybe, but Hesselden, he's only got a...
Crisco's getting the slipstream, he's backing out in turn one. Is he going to do it for the chicane? He's went wide to get in, open up the corners.
Yeah, he's not close enough. Yeah, he's not close enough for any kind of a move. So we'll focus back then on Hesselden, because he's only got 2 corners to go, and then he's going to be crowned the Front Row Racing PCS Season 2 champion. And you know what? He absolutely, fully deserves it as he takes the victory here at the Circuit Bugatti.
Dave Harp's winning.
Oh, Dave's off! Dave's off!
He's off!
So Chris Core manages to get through then, but GT Gavin 2, he is going to take second place. GBM Beardy third, Chris Core up to fourth, and Dave down to fifth. Wow, well, what a race that has been. I mean, I'm absolutely disappointed for Live Bry, I really, really am. But GT Gavin 2 will cross the line in second place. A very well done to him. GBM Beardy. Oh, it's all getting very busy at the final couple of corners with a couple of blue flag situations, I think. But GBM Beardy, a fantastic third place for him. Also very, very well done. Now, Chris Court, he is, I believe, in fourth place. One of his better finishers of the season. Yes, he is, with Dave the Harp. Not actually showing me. Dave the Harp, fifth place. Now, as for the rest of the order, well, we're going to have to wait a few moments for that one, because I forgot to have a look before we got onto that last lap. And now we're into that really frustrating part where, on project cars, more than likely, nobody is in the correct order. Because, for example, Neo Tig, I believe, is in about 6th or 7th. So, as he crosses the line with the car right behind him, he does go to 6th place. So, it's a very well done to Neo Tig on that one. 7th place, it says is Lielmo McElroy, but I'm not so sure that it is. It could be. Actually, thinking about it, it really could be. We'll see what happens when he crosses the line. It is. It's 7th place for him. And then we're into the realm of battle, where I believe it is Woolhouse, 8th place. Oh, and I tell you what, we've got Driver Montana. He's sandwiched between cars that have already finished the race, I think. But I'm sure he'll be enjoying the battle towards the finish line. Yep, there's a car peeling off. Actually, this is Driver Montana and Jonesy fighting it out for position. And Driver Montana will finish slightly ahead. Now, it says that on 4600 finished down in 12th place. That may be correct if he was the driver that pitted very late on in the event there. Well, I'll tell you what, 14 racers started this event. 2 did not get to the end, and unfortunately one of those was leading the standings before the race began. Now he will be sat there. He's had a bit of time to think, to calm down, and I'm sure he will give Hesselden a congratulatory message, but at the same time his PlayStation probably doesn't work anymore.
Lee McElroy, DP, you sound shocked I finished 7th, sorry.
I am shocked you finished 7th. Your connection's been so bad lately, you've quite often not got to the end, so very well done. Anyway, right, Ray, don't bother inviting the drivers into the podium interview, because I need to do that, because it's my chat party. I just realised. So I shall invite in, let's see, who was it? It was Hesselden. Excuse me. Hesselden. Who was in second place, Ray?
Don't know.
Press L2 and find out then. GT Gavin 2 and GBM Beardy, I think it was. Can you check for me?
Hesselden, GT, Gavin and GMB
Beardy.
GPM Beardy.
Okay, no problem. So I'll send invites to them. So as we wait for those guys to join us for a quick chat as a bit of a podium interview, time to take a little comfort break, take a drink, and take a moment to contemplate how the whole of that season went. Now, for those drivers that join us in the commentary booth right now, if you could just make sure that you have got your microphone set to always allow in the party settings, please do check it for us, because if it's not there, no one will get to hear you, and we'll come to you in a moment. So just take a breather, dry off your heads with the towels provided, throw some hats at each other if you want to, and we'll get to you in 2 seconds time.
I'll be back in a second. Okay,
on to the podium interviews then. Hesselden, you know what? I can imagine you celebrated that one, and you will celebrate it, but at the same time, does it come with a little bit of disappointment that you didn't really just get to battle it out on the track all the way to the checkered flag with live, Bri?
Yeah, a little bit. It was close. Qualifying was close, and the race looked like it was going to be close. But I've been disconnected a few times. It's one of them things, and it's rubbish that it's had to end up like that. But it's the way it is sometimes. But
it is. So I know that you've had connection issues yourself throughout this season. Yeah. So when you realised that he's been disconnected, was there a little bit of a yes, and then hang on? It could happen to me.
But it was, yeah, exactly that. Pretty much like, but he was about 2 seconds behind me, I think, and then I was just like, he's been disconnected. Then I see someone else get disconnected. I was thinking, it's just going to be me next. And then I was just waiting really, and it didn't come. So got to the finish line. That was a relief. Championship won.
Exactly, and you are confirmed as the Front Row Racing PCS Season 2 champion. So to all the viewers out there, raise your glasses, clap your hands, bang your heads against the wall if you want to Hesselden, the PCS Season 2 championship winner. Now we'll come back to you in a few moments' time. We'll quickly move on to GT Gavin 2. An interesting race there, Gavin.
Just steady away, really.
Yeah, I mean, at the start, there was a lot of position changes at the start of that race. A hell of a lot of position changes. Was it a surprise to you to see Live Bride disappear?
I know that Bride's been experiencing difficulties, shall we say, for the couple of hours leading up to that race. Gutted it happened, but at the end of the day, it's just one of them things, isn't it?
It is.
At the beginning of the race, it set off well, really. Got into a bit of a fight with Dave the Harp. I think we had a little bit of a coming together where he tried to go around the outside, but I just understeered. Apart from that, it's pretty standard, to be fair.
It looked like after the first few laps, it was a fairly steady race. I mean, how was the tyres? How was the tyre wear? And did you play about or dabble with the soft tyres at all?
No, left the softs alone. I know from qualifying and from practice that the softs are just not even an option. My plan was hard, medium, but the mediums at the end went, because at the start of the race, obviously being stuck with so many other cars, the tyres were just shredded, and I didn't get the required laps out of them, so I had to go to hard for the final just to make sure that I'd finish race with at least some tyres left.
Well, you managed to do that, and I think you may also have managed to jump a few places in the standings. Let's see, a second place for you will put you on 122 points. Dave the Harp, I think, finished in 5th place. If he did, I don't think you've managed to jump him to take 3rd place, but you'd be around the 3rd, 4th place mark, but we'll know for certain when I sort the points out later on. But very well done to you, a fantastic race by yourself there. We'll quickly move on to GBM Beardy. An interesting one for you there. It looked like you pitted very, very early on. Was it a pit stop or was it a drive-through penalty?
I just got a little bit eager on the handbrake.
On the handbrake?
On the brake, sorry.
All right.
And just jumped the start.
So it was a drive-through penalty. So to take that penalty and come through to take 3rd place, you must be absolutely delighted.
I'm delighted, but I'm annoyed at the same time because I had a coming together with Adam 4600. And in all fairness, I don't even think he used the brake.
Yes, there was one collision we saw. Excuse me, heading up into turn 2, the Dunlop chicane, where it looks like he did catch himself out a little bit on the brakes. I can tell you, he's not the kind of guy that would not purposely ram anyone, and that's proven by the fact that he messed up. He knew he'd messed up. He parked the car until you were going again. You see, that just kind of, I mean, that's the thing. You'll get drivers that will have a crash like that and just think, oh well, off I go. and they're the kind of ones that end up earning no respect from anyone. But yeah, we did see that collision, and as annoying as it might be, I can apologise on behalf of Adam 4600, because I know the action he took after that crash is his way of going, oh crap, you know what, my bad fella, really, really my bad, I'll let you go.
It was a cracking race though. I mean, carving through the field, it was a lot of fun.
If you hadn't have had the drive-through penalty, do you reckon you'd have had the pace to battle for the win?
I think so, yeah. I had a good strategy.
I mean, looking at...
I was flying.
Well, looking at the fastest lap of the race, I mean, Hesselden had a 1:35.7, you had a 1:35.8, so on lap times it was very, very close between the two of you. But anyway, a third place, very, very well done by yourself there. It'll be very interesting to see whereabouts you'll finish in the points as well, because with that third place you may also jump a few positions. Okay, and quickly move on back to Hesselden. Okay, Hesselden, quite a few people were thinking he's probably going to win one of the championships. You've finally done it. You're confirmed as the PCS champion. Next season it's the Aussie V8s. Are we to expect more of the same?
I don't know. They're very hard to drive. I've had a little go in them, so I don't know if anyone else is like. It's so hard. Just get on the power, and it's so hard to keep grip on the track. So.
Skitterish.
Yes, that's the word I was looking for. Yes, skitterish. That's the one. And yeah, but hopefully I'll be able to retain the title.
Well, it'll be very interesting to find out if you can do it. And having said that, what about you, Gavin, and you, Beardy? How are you guys feeling about the Aussie V8s for the next season?
I love it, I do. I love the Aussie V8.
Something different in it. Why not? We'll give it a bash.
Exactly. We'll give it a bash, but hopefully in the right way. Right, Ray, do we have any comments from any of the viewers, any questions from any of the viewers that they would like us to ask on behalf of them to the drivers?
What wheel does Hesselden use?
What wheel now? What?
Well,
what wheel do you use?
Oh, I've got the T150. I did have the T300 up to race 6, but that broke, so I'll quickly run down to Curry's, got the T150. So
are you missing your T300?
A little bit, but I had a little go around Bathurst with the T150, and I was getting the same amount of times and tyre wear, so it was alright. So it's not too bad. I'm still using the same pedals.
Yeah, okay, here's a question for you. I mean, I personally haven't used the T150. I'm on a T300. I can't give a direct comparison from one to the other. Now, the T300 should be the better wheel, stronger feedback. What is the difference in the feel of the wheel that you've noticed from the T300 to the T150? Is it simply down to that level of strength of force feedback?
Yeah, you get a better feel with the T300. It's just, you notice it straight away in the price, like the feel of it and that, and it's just a little bit cheaper and that, but it was a sort of, I saw I had a value at the time to buy. But yeah, it got me to the end of the season, so
that it did. Okay, we're gonna take at least a 2-week break now from the Project Cars seasons. So very well done to you, Hesselden, there on taking the title. Dave the Harp will either send you a message saying well done, congratulations, and he'll hand his crown over to you. Either that, or he's buggered off to Holland saying I'm not leaving it for you. Yeah, I'm not going to hand it over. Either is a possibility, but very well done on taking the title. Very well done to all of the drivers that have been taking part, and for the viewers, if you do want to keep up with what the results have been, find the Front Row Racing Facebook page. I will update the points this evening. and post them onto the Facebook page. Like I say, we will have at least a 2-week break now until season 3, and in those 2 weeks on Facebook we will put up driver confirmation posts for the next season, and also allow the bottom 10 drivers to pick the tracks for the next rounds of the season. Anyway, time to bring this to an end, I think. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much, viewers. Next up on the Front Row Racing YouTube channel will be on Wednesday for the F1 World Championship at 7:30 p.m. That'll be for round 11 at Spa. That is one worth tuning in to watch. I've been Front Row Racing DP. Joining me in the commentary box has been Front Row Racing RI. Thank you very much, Ray.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you guys for putting on a good show.
Yep, well done. Definitely agree with that one. So the only thing left to say is congratulate the Front Row Racing PCS Season 2 champion, Hesselden 90. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all again soon.